Hello, I'm Kochanski, Wilderness Living Skills and Survival Instructor. We want to talk a little bit about the phenomenon of meeting your liquid needs. Now, when I want energy in setting up camp, the first day in a survival episode you use twice as many calories, and you very often have to do it on an empty stomach. Generally, I found through all my life as an instructor that if I drank enough liquids, it is surprising how much more energetic I was than people who didn't know that they should drink a lot. I mean, it's a common thing. People would say, look at that old guy, how much energy he has. And I will often say, well, watch me, how much tea I drink, sort of thing. Because generally, if you don't have enough of a fluid situation as far as your blood is concerned and so on, the metabolites, the byproducts of metabolism and the things that you're transferring from storing to the usage areas are slowed down, so that usually results in fatigue. Now, a lot of people don't realize what you might need. You can say a big pot is, you can put as little water as you want in a big pot, but a small pot you can only put so much. This is a 7-cup pot, which to me is breakfast when I have nothing to eat, and it allows me to measure my water, and I have a convenient way of melting water. Now, some people don't have the benefit of a pot, and they have to sort of consume snow. Now, I have looked into this issue of eating snow, but there's one article that I have where a med student from New Zealand survived for 43 days by eating snow. Now, when you eat snow, you make it into a ball, and you melt it in your mouth, and you swallow the water. Now, there are certain uncomfortable circumstances in trying to eat snow. That is, if your lips touch the snow, you'll get horribly chapped lips. But if you take a ball and get it beyond, and the amount of energy that it requires for you to convert the snow into liquid is very small. And I think it's a big misconception that people caution you not to eat snow. And yet, Inuit would go for weeks on end without being able to consume water in any other way except through ice and snow, because they didn't have the means to melt it. And so this idea of telling people not to melt snow, I'm not sure it's right, but we'll discuss it further. Here we have a pot that is currently available. It has been anodized black. It's never been used that black. Here's a pot that I've used since Tom Roycroft gave me this pot probably in 1967 or 68, standard issue from the RCAF, good solid lid. I've used it all my life, and look at it, it's still functional. And you want that in a pot. Nothing fragile or the handle's substantial. There's a ring in the lid to keep it from getting lost. You can see that the spout here has taken a lot of abuse because it sticks out and so on. In the winter, when you're trying to meet your water needs, this is probably the most recent thing I've run across with regard to the convenience of carrying water in some pocket. You can, of course, have jar like I've seen these illustrated in books where you can stuff snow in there, and it's meant to hang around your neck somewhere near your skin, where you continue to keep topping it off and use body heat to maintain the liquid that you want to consume. Another option is this arrangement, which actually has its merits. It's the cup that you can actually cook in, and a metal canteen. The plastic canteen maybe is nicer to put against the skin, but this you can actually probably boil water inside the canteen and still retain a functional canteen, which means that you fill it full of water and somehow inadvertently you have it freeze on you. You might find it holding it near the fire, you're not going to compromise it like you would a plastic one. And the two fit together and have to me, I like this sort of thing. Now also, when you're carrying an emergency type means to melt snow, this is a folded pot, very much like birch bark, and it's carried flat and then made into a pot that will melt snow when you need it. So when you are carrying things inside of a survival vest, you might say, in a search and rescue, you might have this sheet of aluminum that you have learned how to fold into a pot that looks something like this, which will allow you to generate hot water, melted snow water very quickly. The business of drinking enough water, I have mentioned this before. When you compile a survival kit, it should contribute to two things. One, does that item allow you to sleep that much better? Does that item help you to meet your water needs? Because there are very few things that impinge on your ability to do things as becoming thirsty. We call it dehydration. But when you use up the water that's in your body, your blood slows down, you become sluggish. An Everest expedition, the guy that studied it somehow realized that many of the other expeditions failed because people did not consume enough liquids. And when they saw to it that everybody had enough liquids, the first Everest expedition, what's his name now? He succeeded. Hillary succeeded because everybody was conscious of the fact that they must drink enough liquids.